Welcome to Majesty's House of Music. Now this is our 6th part. It's going to be on augmented chords. So for those of you who have no idea what an augmented chord is, an augmented chord looks something like this. Now that's a C augmented chord. So assuming you start with the major chord, for you to get an augmented chord, you just sharpen the 5th. So you'll get something like this. Yeah? So it's the 1, the 3, and the sharp 5. And there are only, I think, how many? 4 sets. There are only 4 sets of augmented chords on the keyboard. So you have this one. It's the same as this one. And it's the same as this one. So the C augmented chord is the same as the E augmented chord and the G sharp augmented chord. That's just the same thing. Then the C sharp augmented chord, so it's something like this. It's the same as the F augmented chord and the same as the A augmented chord. Then we have the D. The D looks something like this. It's the same as F sharp and A sharp. And then the last one is the E flat, which is something like this. It's the same as G and the same as B. So we only have, how many? 4 sets of augmented chords on the keyboard. So basically this is the use of augmented chords on the key of C. So this is how you could use, let's say, an augmented chord. The theory is this: as long as you are using an augmented chord, let's say you are using a C augmented chord, your baseline is supposed to be a tone higher, same as the theory for the quarter chords. Like for example, let me give you an example. So for those who like to do this 6, 2, 5, 1 movement, then 4. So this 6, 2, 5, 1 movement, for those who like to do the 6, 2, 5, 1, 4 movement. Now, this is how you would substitute such a movement. Let's say you play the 6th chord. So, you will have let's say a C major 7 on your right hand, then you will have an A7 chord on your left hand. So you have A, E, and G. Or maybe you could even add the C, but it's not necessary. So A, E, and G. Then you could have a C major 7 chord. B, C, E, G, something of that sort. So that's your 6th chord. Or you could even ignore this upper G and just have something of that sort. So instead of you going to the 2, which would probably give you something like this. Okay, so instead of you doing that, this is what you could do. So instead of you going to the 2, just go to the flat 6. So you could have something. So you could have such a chord. So you could have a 6, flat 6, then to the 5 as normal. So that 5, you have G and D on your left hand, then you have F, B flat, and C on your right hand. So you have your 6, you have your flat 6, then you have your 5. So 6, flat 6. Yeah, you could just play the bass line, the G sharp, on your left hand, then this augmented chord on your right hand, F sharp, B flat, and D. Or maybe you could play a triton on your left hand, something of this sort. So you could have G sharp and D. Okay? But I don't have to repeat this D on my left hand. I have it on my right hand. So that works for me. Then 5. Okay? Or maybe if you wanted to play it higher, something of that sort. So let's do the movement again. You have your 6. Okay, I'm pretty much using closed voicings. You could open them up, so you could have something of this sort. So you could have something of that sort. Depends on how much you want to open your voicings. So it's still the C major 7 chord over the A. So you have that. Then you have something of this sort. Okay? Or maybe decide to invert it. Whichever kind of inversion you decide. Then you have your 5 chord. Then you could have your 1 chord like we did in the previous chapter on quarter chords. Your 1, then your 4. So instead of doing this all the time, you could do something of this sort. See, that sounds much better than just doing this. Okay, so basically that's how you could use an augmented chord in such a situation. And then the other substitution you could use, instead of now after the 5, instead of you playing the 1 chord like this, okay, or you know the tricks, you could use this or that. Instead of you just playing it like that all the time, what you could do, you could substitute that with a flat 5 chord. So basically you have 6, you have your augmented chord there, you have your 5. Then you have something of that sort. Then to the 4. Okay? So that's an F sharp and C. That's an F sharp triton on your left hand. Then here you have E, G sharp, and C, which is a C augmented chord but now inverted. So we are starting from C. So it's something like this but now inverted, just inverted. So you have something of that sort. Then to the 4. Okay, so you have your 6. Then to your 5. Then to, okay, so you have your 6 again. Let's do it for the last time. Okay, then your 5.